In this video, we're gonna see how to solve this Leetcode problem called the string to integer, that is implementing the atoi functionality. Here you can see this is the problem statement. They will give you a number inside a string and we will have to convert the string into an actual number, that is the string to integer. And if you look at the example here, you can see that they will give 42 inside a string and we will have to convert the 42 string into a integer 42. You can see that the 42 inside a string and we will have to convert this into a normal string. And for to do is they will provide these four conditions here, that is we will have to ignore any white spaces. If there is any white spaces between the string, we will have to ignore it. For example, here you can see this is a string that contains the leading or white spaces. You can see that we'll have to remove this white space. If there is any white space, we should ignore it. So this is the first condition, and the second condition is determine the sign by checking if the next condition is minus or plus. So if the character is minus, we will have to display the answer in minus also. Here you can see this is a minus symbol, right? We will also return the result as a negative form. This is what we are saying in the second condition. And the third condition is skip any leading zeros. You consider read the integer by skipping leading zeros. That is, if there is any zeros in the front, we will have to skip it. So for the example, I have picked this example here. You can see that there is a leading zeros here. So we will have to skip it and just print the number only. This is the third condition. You can see that here also it knows the white space as well as it knows the negation symbol. You can see that for the first step, it ignores the white space. You can see that leading white space is read and ignore. This is the step 1. And for the step 2, erase the minus symbol and the result should be negative. This is the second condition. And the third condition is leading 0 is ignored. That is, you consider it starts with minus 042, right? The 0 is removed and we just get a result like minus 42. That's it. So this is the third condition, that is leading zeros are ignored. And the final condition on the third point here is that read the integer until a non-digit character is encountered. If a non-digit character is encountered, we'll have to stop it. To explain this with an example, here you can say we have the non-digit character, that is C. So we'll have to stop that here. We just have to print the 1337 only. If you encounter a character, we will have to stop there. Let's see how to implement this string to integer by following all the four conditions that mentioned there. Final example also here, if we got any non-digit character, we'll just have to return the 0 only. Let's start building our code. First, let me get the size of the string now. So int n equal to a star length of the string. Now we got the size. I'm gonna create a number equal to 0. So to convert the string into a number, I'm gonna declare a number variable. So I'm gonna declare this integer number into a long int. So we don't know the size of the integer, right? So for the safety, I'm gonna declare this number as a long int. Now we have the number, right? To check the negative number, to do that, I'm gonna declare a boolean negative equal to false. Currently, we're gonna set this boolean value to false. So if we encounter any minus or symbol in the string, so we're gonna set the negative to true. So to maintain the negative, we'll have to use this boolean value. And finally, we're gonna start coding now. First, we're gonna check for the leading space. If there is any leading space, we just ignore it and move the text to the next one. So to do that, I'm gonna use a while loop now. While I less than n, let's define the I now. So int I equal to 0. So while I less than n and I'm gonna check for the condition s of I. So if I'm gonna check for the leading space, if there is any space, I'm just gonna increment the index. So I plus plus. That's it. This will move the I if there is any leading space. So that's it. This is the condition to ignore any white space. Now after we ignore all the white space, we're gonna check for the condition like if the string is empty. After we check for the white space, that is if they just provide 3 white space and there is no character, we'll also have to check for it. So if n equal to n, then we're gonna return 0. That's it. Now we have successfully checked for the leading white space. Then we're gonna check for the minus or plus. So let's do that now. After you check for the white space, we're gonna check for the sign. So if s of I is equal to minus, or s of I equal to plus. So if it is plus, we don't have to do anything. But if it is minus, then we're gonna change the negative boolean value to true. So negative equal to, only we're gonna change the negative to true if the s of I is equal to minus. Only if it is minus, we're gonna change the negative value to true only. So this will make sure that we will return the result as a negative value. And finally, we're gonna increment the I. So we're gonna increment the I from here to 4 now. So if it is plus, we only return the 42. But for the minus only, if it is minus 42, we will have to return the minus 42. That's why we are maintaining the negative boolean value. If it is minus, we're gonna change the negative to true. That's what we are checking here. If s of I is equal to I, then we're gonna change the negative to true. Now we have check for the white space and the minus or plus. Then we can check for the characters. So we can check for the characters now. Um, Again, I'm gonna use a while loop now. While I less than n and is digit. So if s of I is digit, then only we're gonna enter this for loop. If it is character, then we're gonna break out of the for loop. So if it is a digit, then we're gonna use a condition like num equal to num star 10 plus, and then we're gonna get the string character to an actual integer. To get the string character to an actual integer, we're gonna subtract the string 0. So this will return us the actual value in integer. For example, if we have a character 7 in string, if we subtract the 0, then it will give us the 7 in integer. So if you got a number 7 in character, if you want to get the 7 in integer only, then we're gonna subtract the minus 0. This is common for all the integers if it is in the character. Now let me explain you what this num equal to num star 10 plus the digit that we are getting from the string. So let me explain this using an example. Num equal to num star 10 and we're gonna add the integer. Here you can see here we have a 42 inside the string, right? First we're gonna read the 4. So that's it. First we're gonna read the 4. If you want to build the 42, we will have to read the 4 first, right? So num equal to, currently the num is 4 for the first loop. For the first loop, the num is 4. For the second loop, this is for the first loop. For the second loop, it will read the character 2. You consider now it will contain the num equal to 4 and the digit is 2. So num is equal to 4 in the first loop. For the first or second loop, since we are multiplying by 10, it will become 40. In the second loop, we're gonna read the character 2 and the num will become the 40. That is, we are multiplying by 10 and it will become 40 and we are adding the digit here. That is, we are converting the single character into an integer and the digit is 2. And finally, we will get the result 42. This is how you read the numbers if it is in the string format. The same procedure that we'll do in the palindrome also. If your number is in the palindrome, if you want to reverse it, you will also approach the same step if you have done the palindrome problem. So let me increase the I now. So this will make sure that we got the number. And finally, we can check if the negative is true and we're gonna return the minus number. If it is false, then we're gonna return the positive number only. So that's it. You can run this code now. If you run this, I hope this will pass all the test cases. You can see that now our answer has been successfully accepted in the all 5 test cases. Here you can see for this, it starts with W, right? Inside in the while loop, we check for the condition like if the character is digit only, then we're gonna enter the while loop. Since it is starts with W, the while loop will not be executed and the number will always stay for 0 and we will return the number equal to 0. That's why we got the output for this. Consider we set the number equal to true. If you don't enter the while loop here, then the number will always be 0. So let's try to submit this to see if our answer is accepted or not. So we get a error like buffer overflow error. That is, if the input is huge, then we will have to stick to the minus int. So let me explain this. What the error is. C++ normally the int max is 2 power 31 and the int min is minus 2 power 31. If any number crosses this, then we will have to shuffle to the minus 2 power 31. If any number crosses the maximum range, it will again or starts from the and it will again starts from the int min. The number becomes way too large. That is, if the number becomes larger than the int max, so we'll have to go back from the start. So this is the starting position int min. So the number becomes way too large. You can see that it becomes way too large. Then we will have to start from the starting only. So inside the while loop, we're gonna check for a condition. If number is greater than the int max, then we're gonna return the int min or int max based on the negative. So return, if the negative is true, then we're gonna return the int minimum. Return negative. If it is true, then we're gonna return the int min. Else we're gonna return the int max. So that's it. Now we can submit our problem now. I hope this time our answer is accepted. You consider now our answer is accepted this time, and our solution beats 75% of other users. And the space complexities, if you click on the analyze complexity, you consider our space complexity is the order of 1. So this is, you consider our space complexity is in the order of 1. So this is how you solve your Leetcode problem number 8, that is implementing the string to integer. So this is for this video, and I will continue in the next one.